Welcome back to the No State Project. I'm Mark Stevens. Welcome back, JT.
Thank you, Mark.
Before we're out of time, I want everyone to remember the McAllen, Texas workshop, February 26th. We're going to be talking about dealing with, basically tyrant attacks. How to, we're talking about taxes, traffic, and even if you have, because I helped Armando, hopefully we'll get him back on the show here real soon, two credit card complaints that were thrown out. They withdrew them. And there was also a traffic ticket. And he's got one other thing coming up also, some sidewalk deal, which is ridiculous. That should be tossed out also. But we're going to be, it's going to be an all-day workshop, February 26th, McAllen, Texas. And, $50, you get the script, you get the motion template, which we're going to be going through. We do a lot more this time on actually getting in and role playing, which really helps people. So whether if you can't make it to McAllen, we'll work on some other workshops. And if you want me to come out in your area, just contact me at markstevens@markstevens.net, and we'll put together something to come out. Definitely want to get back to Austin though. I want to do something in Austin, so I want to, I'll work with some people out there to come out there again, because been a few years since I've been out there. I think it was 3 years ago now.
Wow, time flies.
Yeah, it has been a while, so I definitely like to get back there. But I was talking to someone today in the Austin area, and it seems that they have a this really goes in nice with the civil disobedience we were talking about and the sales tax issue.
Okay.
And kind of kills two birds with one stone. We were talking about, having some of us go because the sales tax is due on the seller.
Right.
If it's not that it's due at all, but that's what the law says.
Sure.
So we had spoken a number of times about going in to a store and just not paying the sales tax and having the store pick that up. Now, I had somebody that had emailed me some documentation showing that he was, and it said tax exempt on there, that no tax was due. He's not claiming that he's some kind of special vendor or something like that, but that, because it's not due on the seller. So I want him to post that on the forum, and he hasn't done that. But also, we want to look at the civil disobedience aspect of it, though, because not paying it really isn't an act of civil disobedience because it's not due on the seller. The buyer.
Right.
One of these things. You see, when you're at the fortified compound and it's like 80 degrees out in January, and I'm looking at how beautiful it is outside, it's a little distracting. So excuse me for that. Yeah, I figured I'd take that shot. So anyway, but that's not civil disobedience.
Very cheap shot too. Very loyally of you, Mark.
Oh, well, not a problem. Not a problem. So what I was talking to someone today, and this is something I really want to explore and look at. And I think this is something that could be a very big example of mass civil disobedience. Because what they have, like they have in most places, is you have farmers markets.
Okay.
And the idea is to not collect sales tax. And not to have it be just one or two vendors there, but to have a majority of them if possible. Because, hey, if most of them are not charging, it's going to be a little difficult for them to shut that down. It's going to cause quite a stir. There's going to be a lot of attention on that. And so what I wanted to do is to get a lot more people on board and to vend at one of these things and maybe actually come out and do a workshop and do the show live at one of the markets.
Oh, cool. That'd be very cool.
Yeah, I do a remote show out there because we have 13:30 a.m. the Lone Star Legend, which is one of the affiliates of the show. That's something. There could be some trouble. There's no doubt that someone's going to or some people are going to get charged. But I think if you have a whole market that they're trying to shut down for the sales tax, the attention that's going to bring out on that, because you got to imagine. The people that are attending and are buying from there are going to be happy that everything's, the things that they're buying are going to cost a little less.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm sure there's going to be support.
And come to think of it, I can't recall a farmer's market that I've ever been at where I have been charged sales tax.
Well, maybe you just didn't know about it.
Maybe not.
And most, you go to, you do an exchange and the sales tax is included after the fact. It's not usually advertised that there, you look and and then not
I think it's a function of isn't it a function of the so-called licensing laws of the various fiefdoms and theft jurisdictions of the city, state, and county?
Well,
I think if you're not licensed, I think you can actually avoid it.
Well, that I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know if you lack a business license. I'm a skeptic. I'd have to see for sure. I would.
Sure.
I would doubt that there would be a way out of the sales tax just by not having a business license.
Right. Just a thought.
Yeah, it may be true. I don't know. It depends on the area, but it's Texas, and we know Yeoman is his issue with the health department was out of Austin. Okay. So who knows? They got silly bureaucratic rules there. They don't have an income tax state, but yeah, they still have their silly little rules where they'll go after a family farm that's loved by the community. And by the way, we have not heard back on that yet. They had made a recommendation. We opposed it, and we have not heard back on that. And that happened back in September.
Hopefully that's a good thing.
I'd like to think it is a good thing. I hope they leave the guy alone, which would definitely the other people in the area. Maybe this would, having the health department leave them alone will help embolden other people in Austin who are engaged in these markets. I'd like to be able to call it an agora. If we can get the sales tax out of there, yeah, we have we'd have an agora there in Austin. And maybe it would embolden people to say, hey, you know what? Let's listen to this legislator in Chicago and let's be adults. Let's not ask permission. Let's bring our services or a product to the market, the agora, and offer it on a voluntary basis without asking for permission.
Yeah. Well, why would you have to?
Well, exactly, and that's why I made the point.
No one's ever asked permission to be free.
Well,
had it be so. It's kind of like voting for freedom. It's ridiculous.
Well, do these legislators do they ask permission to do what they're doing?
Of course not. Well, no, they don't. But they do what they do is they point at the people that go in these booths and say yes, project the power in this direction, and as long as my hands don't get bloody.
Yeah, but the bottom line is they're not asking for permission.
No, they're cheering on the gang rape is what they're doing.
Yeah. So, I mean, it seems kind of silly if they're not asking for permission to do what they're doing and they're causing an enormous amount of damage and trauma to people, then why in the world would we have to ask permission to engage in an activity that is productive and doesn't hurt anybody?
You have to remember the perspective of the psychopath. I'll quote Harry Reid again. Quote, democracy is one of the most effective forms of ruling men.
Oh, wow, you're going to have to send me a link. We've got
I shall,
it.
I'd like to think.
I'd like to think that I would love to be able to get in contact with him and do an interview with him. I doubt that anything would come of that.
No.
Those type of people don't like coming on my show for some reason.
Of course not.
Yeah, well, why get empirical?
Why.
Yeah,
right.
Why talk about the facts? Why, when you could just talk in platitudes and opinions and not have to prove anything. I mean, this is the same guy that said that taxation is voluntary, unlike what they do in other countries. It's voluntary here.
Yeah, it's voluntary.
Oh, my gosh. So I think this is something that we need to explore. We need to start making some phone calls. And people, if you're in the Austin area and you're interested in participating in this, we'll have to get something on the website about that on a forum, and so we can start putting this together. I'd love to be, it would work out real well to be able to do a workshop and then do a remote show live from Austin, because it's been a long time since I did a show live from Austin.
Yeah. Hopefully it's warm down there, although I'm not sure. Probably warmer where you're at.
Well, it's the temperature's about the same, but it's the humidity that's so much higher in Austin. And
really?
Okay. And I know everybody. I know it's worse in Houston. So they always tell me. I remember Dave, who's now back in New Hampshire. He helped me with the workshop last time, and I said, "Oh my gosh, it's so damn humid here." He says, "Oh, it's nothing. You should go try Houston."
Well, yeah, they're right on the Gulf.
Yeah, they're right on the Gulf, so it always seemed to be quite a bit worse over there. But I think this is something that we can have a lot of success with. Because why should the people in Keene have all the fun with the civil disobedience? So I think we can get a lot of people involved here, and I think if we have enough people, even if they try to shut it down, we can get a tremendous amount of exposure on this. And we can point out, like I did with Yeoman's situation, like here you've got a group of men and women who the community has to be forced to support.
Right.
So, anyway, we're out of time. My name is Mark Stevens. This has been the No Stay Project. Remember, government just a group of men and women providing a service at the barrel of a gun. If they were really looking to protect your life, liberty, and property, they wouldn't be the first ones threatening to take it. Until next time, high on.